Arsenal tonight sent a message. Arsenal tonight shut a lot of people up. Arsenal tonight proved that when it comes to them, Arsenal proved tonight that when it comes to them, when it comes to Arsenal, when it comes to the footballing conversation around them, it isn't fair. They proved again tonight that when it comes to the footballing conversation around Arsenal, people are looking at agendas, people are looking at anomalies, and they're not looking at the cold, hard facts in front of your face. Now, I'm jealous. I'm jealous as hell that you're so good. Hurts me. It hurts me. The joy I get from it is knowing that maybe one day my club can follow suit and get back to a point where it's challenging. But I'm going to forget my club. What Arsenal did tonight was magnificent. And I don't often say this, but I'm going to say it tonight. I told you so. If you had watched, I'm very fortunate with the job I have. And you guys that watch, by the way, like the video, please share, subscribe. You guys that tune into me have helped give me the a job that I love with every ounce of my being. I get to watch football. I get to talk about football. I get to interact with you about football every single day. I love it. And the Football Terrace, of course, the main channel, my personal channel, Terry Lewis TV. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. We're not always positive because I'm very angry with my own club tonight, but we try our best, you know, just let's have honest footballing conversations as best we can. Honesty as we see it. Let's not push agendas every second of the day. And the beauty in my job is that I get to watch all of the top six every single game. And if you had watched Arsenal in the past 2 to 3 weeks, this idea that they're dead, own goals, open play goals, oh, they're crumbling, oh, they're falling away. That narrative was such a joke to me, because if you actually spent the time and actually watched Arsenal play, the fact that they'd only won 2 or 3 of their previous games narrowly was a fluke. Was a fluke. Especially Palace and especially the Brighton game. And I said in the build-up to this match, Arsenal are due to batter somebody, to annihilate somebody, to absolutely crucify somebody. And if you also had watched Aston Villa, you would also know that they were due a slap, because they hadn't been great in a number of their games recently, but some bad defending or some worldy goals gave them the result. And Unai Emery and Aston Villa deserve credit for breaking a 111-year record of winning games on the bounce. They deserve credit for getting themselves a handful of points away from the top. And I'll take nothing away from them. But it was all the conversations and the, oh, they're better than Arsenal. Oh, they're going to win the league. It's like, stop it. You're going too far. And tonight it was, listen, the first half, I'll break the first half down. I love the first half. Aston Villa made it hard for Arsenal. They stifled the space. They were like a fire blanket. They made it very, very difficult indeed for Arsenal to penetrate them. They made it very, very difficult for Arsenal to create clear-cut chances in the game. And if I'm being honest with you, I feel like Victor Gyökeres had a chance to score a couple of goals in that first half, and he should have taken them. But you can see the lack of confidence in this man. Then there was the counter-attacks. And without Declan Rice, that was the vulnerability. That was the weakness. And Aston Villa were able in the first half to counter-attack 2, 3, 4 times through the middle of Arsenal. And it was a very even game. And Ollie Watkins, 13 minutes in the match, should have scored. Should have scored. He fluffed these lines up. There was another great counter-attack late in the game. It may have been given as offside, but the touch from Saliba to take it off of Watkins' toes was there. And it looked like a game finally in the balance. And Villa are a good team. Unai Emery is a very good manager. Let's not take it away from them. And I was thinking at half-time was, Aston Villa are almost like the antithesis of Arsenal. They're the kryptonite of Arsenal. The way they play just seems to be so hard for Arsenal to beat. But just like every Superman comic, I've not read all the comics, I don't read a lot of comics, but every Superman movie, it doesn't matter, the kryptonite is there. At some point, Superman is going to prevail. And that is what Arsenal did tonight. Arsenal in the second half, they made some adjustments. They made sure they weren't as easy to counter-attack through in the middle. And they absolutely pinned Aston Villa back. And of course, in a beautiful quirk of irony, and as a Brit, irony is a very important part of our lives. The opening goal from Gabriel, from a set piece, majestic. And I was praising and bigging up Emi Martinez in the build-up to this game because he's been fantastic this season. He has. But in that moment, he actually committed a foul. He gets the wrong side of Gabriel. And Gabriel being back, defending was better. Scores from a set piece. And as I say, it was a rustic piece of beauty and irony that will wind up Arsenal's rivals, send shivers down Jamie Carragher's spine. And of course, please Gooners worldwide, including this one, who's on loan. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge to all the weak people that are offended by that. And then it was an onslaught. And just as I said to Mark Goldbridge this morning on Hot Takes, if you haven't watched Hot Takes, go onto Spotify, check out Hot Takes, my podcast with Mark Goldbridge weekly. I felt that if a team could score a couple of quick goals against Aston Villa, they would crumble. Crumble is what we saw tonight. Second goal scored within a matter of minutes. And this was, I know Zubimendi gets the goal. Zubimendi gets the finish. Ash, who's backstage, who is a Newcastle fan, will say it's not a real goal because he doesn't score often. Remember that shit at the beginning of the season? But it was all about Odegaard. It was Martin Odegaard's goal. It was a captain's goal. He presses, he wins the ball back. He drives through the heart of that midfield of Aston Villa, and he threads the ball through to to Zubimendi, who finishes it. And then just over 10-12 minutes later, another great piece of play. The ball ends up at the feet of Trossard, who drops the shoulder, beats a man and buries it. Now, they did everything they could, VAR, to remove that goal. I don't know if you noticed that. They tried absolutely everything they could to disallow the goal, to take the goal away, They looked at two different offsides that were clearly not offside, in my opinion. But then it's 3-0. It's becoming that battering that Arsenal have been promising for weeks, that Arsenal have been saying will happen for weeks. And then icing on top of the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake, Gabriel Jesus, less than 10 minutes later, I think 8 minutes later, another wonderful, flowing, vibrant move from Arsenal, gets the ball, buries it into the bottom corner, and barring maybe a little bit of a lack of concentration towards the end of the game, where a number of big chances were conceded, and there was 2 or 3 in one incident. So this is where you've got to be careful with the stats. Arsenal had 6 big chances and missed 4, but Aston Villa had 5 big chances. This is what the haters will do. They had 5 big chances. They had 5 big chances. The game could have been different. Like 3 or 4 of them came in the same sequence that didn't even lead to a goal. Arsenal had already been cruising. But the game was Arsenal's. Up until the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, they actually conceded quite a lot of XG late on in the match, which I think will disappoint. In fact, they only conceded like 0.5 in the first half, but Ollie Watkins' goal right at the end was 0.99 XG. There was a shot prior to that that was 0.66. There was a shot a minute before that was 0.9. So the majority of that XG came when it was already 4-0. That will probably disappoint some Gooners, and I'm sure the defenders and I'm sure the defensive coaches at Arsenal will be frustrated, but it was consolation. It didn't matter. Arsenal got the job done. The superior team, the aggressor, the team at the top of the league title, sending that message to Manchester City saying, we are. Don't doubt us. Stop writing us off. And the fact that at least they're probably going to give some of the goals as counter-attack with the way you won the ball back. But essentially, 3 goals from open play as well just shuts a lot of the negative Nancy's up. In terms of the spectacle, it was fantastic. It was brilliant. It was an amazing game to watch. It truly was. And look, Aston Villa, Gooners are going to go in, right? Gooners are going to go in on you and they're going to go in on Unai Emery, but you should be so proud of your run. A defeat was always on the cards. It should have really come against Chelsea. It should have come against Chelsea at the weekend. I don't really know what happened to them still in the second half, but it came tonight. But tonight was emphatic. Tonight was a statement. Tonight is something that champions do. Now, there's a long way to go for Arsenal. We're halfway through the season. They are in a brilliant position at 45 points, 37 goals now scored, only 12 conceded. catched up a little bit of goal difference with Man City. Who knows what's going to happen with them tonight, which is also important. But absolutely fantastic on every single level from Arsenal Football Club tonight. As I've already said, their fans should be proud. Their manager will certainly be proud. And they go on to the next one now. And that's a massive game out the way. And I think in terms of the messages, in the build-up to the game, the amount of people, they don't win enough of the big games, they don't deliver enough of the big games, all of that was answered tonight and some. All of that was delivered tonight and some. And there's a long way to go. I still only have Arsenal as the marginal favourites to win the league. I still only have Arsenal as marginally ahead of Man City. A loss for City tomorrow night might change things slightly. This is going to go down to the wire. My mind hasn't changed about that. But what a statement. What a massive win. What a performance from Arsenal Football Club tonight. Do me a big favour, please, people. Like, share and subscribe if you haven't done so already. But what a win.